Ali and I have been together since college for almost 10 years now. We have always been seen as the model couple by everyone. Everyone thinks we are about to get married. One day, I heard him talking on the phone with a friend on the balcony. He said, "Of course, I will marry her. After all, she has been with me for 10 years. She is very suitable to be a wife. As for Emily, she is too young and too naive. I love her, but I won't marry her." After hearing that, I felt a chill. This man, whom I have loved for 10 years, to me it was all calculations and measurements. Since that's the case, I choose to let go. I can love deeply, and I can also let go. When Ali came in, he still smelled of smoke. He is like this all the time. Whenever he has something troubling him, he keeps smoking. Before he came back, I had already received a message from Emily, sister-in-law. "As a woman, I really feel sorry for you. Your own lover has no feelings for you. You're so pitiful." I didn't take it seriously at the time. Emily is the sister of Ali's deceased friend. Before his friend passed away, he entrusted Ali to take care of her. I always thought of Emily as still a child, so I didn't pay much attention to her provocative remarks. Then, she sent a screenshot of her chat with Ali. In the screenshot, she asked Ali, "Ali, are you really going to marry that older lady, Ali? I've been with her for 10 years. We get along very well." "Emily, what about me? Are you going to leave me?" Ali said, "How could I? I will always take care of you." Emily asked, if she weren't in the picture, "Would you marry me?" Ali replied, "I would." Seeing this, I immediately felt a wave of nausea. Like many women who have experienced betrayal, I started calling him repeatedly. The call was quickly connected. On the other end of the line, Ali's voice remained gentle and caring. It was no different from usual. Hearing his voice, I immediately calmed down in 2 seconds. A lot of thoughts flashed through my mind. That photo might not be real. I can't easily doubt my partner. If the chat records are real, my fussing wouldn't help. Instead, it would make him suspicious. According to my personality, I wouldn't do something that only has drawbacks and no benefits. And from the sound of it, it was very noisy on his side. Therefore, I planned to wait for him to come back and talk to him. Who knew he would come back completely drunk? He was supported back by a few friends. He was already in a daze. I hurriedly helped his friends lift him onto the bed. Then I went downstairs again. I sent those men away. It's especially cold tonight, but after finishing these tasks, I ended up sweating profusely. I suddenly felt very irritated. He clearly knows I don't like drunk men, yet he still did it. I get drunk again and again. In the end, I couldn't even be bothered to speak. At that moment, I suddenly had an absurd thought. Regardless of whether what we talked about was true or false, neither of us could continue anymore. I don't know if it's because of Emily's influence. A lot of negative and pessimistic thoughts surged to my mind. I was lost in thought. Suddenly, I heard Ali calling anxiously, "Baby, baby, where are you? Come here quickly." I sighed. I really didn't want to deal with a drunk person. It's late at night. I can't just let him keep calling. I walked into the bedroom. "Speak, I'm here. Stop shouting. It will disturb the neighbors." Ali has already sat up. He looks at me with a somewhat dazed expression. I was just about to turn to the kitchen to make him some hangover soup. He suddenly hugged me from behind. His breath is warm. It blows against the back of my ear. I hear him chuckle. Like a magic trick, he pulls out a small box from his pocket. Then he opens the box. Inside is a ring. The diamond on the ring sparkles under the light. I was stunned. For a moment, I couldn't find my voice. Ali holds me tightly with his arms, as if afraid I would run away. He rests his head on my neck. I can feel that his skin is a bit cool. Ali is crying. He tends to ramble on endlessly when he's drunk. "My dear, I always feel like you don't like me that much. That's how I feel. I feel like you want to leave me. I really like you, but I know my family background is average. I might not be worthy of you, so I've been working hard all these years. I'm just afraid that you will suffer by being with me. I also understand that you don't like me drinking, but dear, I need to socialize. Please don't hate me for that, okay?" He kept talking, reflecting on the little moments between him and me over the years. He also said he often gets pressured to drink by friends and ends up drunk, afraid that I would be angry. He had to sit downstairs in the community for a few hours, waiting until he sobered up to go home. My friends really don't know any better. I told them to leave me downstairs, but they just wouldn't listen. They are just jealous of us. He was still talking, but I was already crying and couldn't say anything. I forgave him. I thought this was Ali's unintentional expression of love after getting drunk. It was evidence that he loved me. I took the ring and put it on my own hand. I didn't expect things to turn around so quickly. It had only been a few hours. The completely sober Ellie said something that completely disappointed me. The diamond ring on my ring finger. Now it seems particularly ironic. Ellie is lying beside me, holding me in his arms. He whispers in my ear, "Darling, I'm really looking forward to our wedding." I pretended to be asleep. I didn't answer him. I responded to him in my heart. I don't hold any hope. There is no future for us anymore. I woke up the next morning. Ellie was already gone. On the living room table was the breakfast he prepared. And there was a note. The note said, "There's something at the company. I have to go on a business trip for a few days. Wait for me to come back." Another business trip. I sighed. I sat calmly in the chair eating breakfast. While messaging Dr. Smith, "Teacher, I agree to join the X plan. Weren't you getting married soon? If I join this plan, after the experiment is successful, one must be isolated from the outside world, and the confidentiality level is the highest. Teacher, he has an affair." The person on the other end of the phone was silent for a while. After a long time, he finally sent a message. "Congratulations to researcher Sophie for joining the X plan. Recently, Ali is always on business trips. He is getting busier, so busy that we can only see each other once or twice a month." While thinking about this, I suddenly remembered the screenshot Emily sent. I unknowingly opened Emily's moments. There was a post. It was a photo of her linking arms with a man at the airport. I recognized that arm as Elise at a glance. Below the photo, it said, "To go to the ends of the earth with the one I love most." Perhaps last night's experience prepared me psychologically. Now I feel particularly calm. Then I went to check Emily's posts from before. I found that over the past year, every time Lee goes on a business trip, Emily seems to always be there. Emily is not Eli's assistant. She is still in college. What surprised me the most was, they always book a couple's room for their business trips. Just thinking about what they might have done, it makes me feel particularly uncomfortable. In fact, there were signs all along. It was my trust in Ellie that was too much. I trusted our relationship too much. The first time I met Emily was at Ellie's good friend's funeral. At that time, Emily was only 12 years old. Her small frame looked frail and weak, as if a gust of wind could blow her away. She cried and threw herself into Ellie's arms. Choking back tears, she said, "Ellie, I have no home anymore. Mom and Dad are gone. Even my brother has left me." She cried very sadly. Everyone around was infected and had red eyes. So, Ellie took her home. I took care of Emily's daily life as her brother. I felt sympathy and pity for her. Therefore, I often bought her a lot of things, worried that Ellie, who is not very attentive, wouldn't take good care of her. The first sanitary pads she used were also bought by me, but she has always been very cold towards me. One could even say she was distant. I thought at that time that she was hurt inside after losing her family, and that was why she was somewhat resistant to me. So I tried even harder to be good to her. At that time, even Ellie joked with a bit of jealousy and said to me, "Dear, you still have me in your heart. Why do you only have eyes for Emily, of course? Each of you is very important." On the day of her coming-of-age ceremony, Emily, who already had a hint of femininity, taking advantage of the fact that no one was around, she suddenly said to me, "Ellie is mine." I thought she was just being a little emotional, so I went along with her and said, "Don't worry, he will always be your Ellie." No, not a brother, but a man in that moment. I suddenly realized that Emily had become a mature woman. She was no longer a child. I could understand her. It is natural to fall for the older brother who has always taken care of you, so I didn't blame her. I told Lee about this. I wanted him to talk to Emily, but I didn't expect him to be furious. He said, "Sophie, you are really confused. Emily is still a child. Emily is still a child. Don't direct those quarrelsome thoughts at her." That was the first time he got angry at me. We had a fierce argument later on. He knelt down and apologized to me. He even brought my parents as witnesses. He said he would give me the newly bought house as compensation. Only then did I completely forgive him. Looking back now, there might have been problems between them at that time. That was an angry reaction after being exposed. 3 days later, Ellie came back. He brought me a bottle as a gift. It was a perfume that is very popular in France right now. "Do you like it? I heard it's quite trendy now." I don't need to guess. I just know it was Emily who said that. When Ellie approached me, I smelled a strong scent of perfume. This scent is exactly the same as the perfume he gave me. In an instant, I lost the will to deal with him. He looked at me like this. He smiled and understood. "Are you angry? Are you angry because I didn't tell you in advance that I was going on a business trip?" "No, it's because your perfume is too strong. I'm not hiding anything. Ali paused for a moment. He quickly regained his usual calm. He said with a smile, "So you were just jealous. It's the scent of my perfume. It was sprayed by the sales assistant when I bought it." I didn't argue anymore. We both understood. This is not the truth. Until this moment, I finally realized. Both he and I have a talent for acting. He plays a character deeply in love with his fiancée, while I play the woman behind a successful man who is quiet and understanding. In the evening, when he went to take a shower, the message from Dr. Smith just came through. 3 days later, all the researchers from the experimental group are set to depart for the X Project research base. Got it. Ali came out of the shower. He found me busy replying to messages with my head down. He walked over. He asked me with a smile, "What are you busy with? You seem to be having a serious conversation." I quietly turned off my phone screen. "It's work-related." He nodded to show he understood. "Go on." He sat down next to me, busy drying his hair. "I've been too busy with work lately. It feels like we haven't had a good chat in a long time. Are you unhappy? I feel like you've been a bit distant with me lately. Once this busy period is over, let's go on vacation together. How about that?" I have no objections. I just replied casually, "Do as you see fit. I understand in my heart. It's impossible for us to go on vacation together again." He continued speaking. "Dear, we are both getting married. You should quit your lab job." I immediately turned to look at him, wondering if I heard him wrong. "What did you just say?" I said. "To have you resign." He said this with a tone of certainty. "After we get married, you should just stay home and rest well. Why stay in the lab all day? Don't you feel tired?" I let out a cold laugh. He clearly knows how much effort I've put into the lab over the years. He also knows clearly that this is my dream. My parents were also researchers, but due to an accident, they both passed away. Everyone told me my parents were heroes. They were heroes who sacrificed for the country. I used to blame them. They left me too early, but as I grew older, I began to understand my parents' good intentions. For society to progress, someone has to bravely pave the way. Since then, my goal has been to take on their burden, to complete what they couldn't finish. Ali knows what this means to me, but he doesn't take it seriously at all. The next few days, I'm living my life as usual. I didn't go to the lab. Instead, I quietly organized my luggage at home. Maybe Ali sensed my coldness and distance. He actually put down his work and stayed by my side to accompany me. I felt a bit uncomfortable. I was just thinking of a reason to send him back to the company. At that moment, Emily arrived. She was holding the keys to this place. She walked in directly without knocking, as if she were the owner of the house. As soon as she entered, I caught a whiff of that familiar perfume. Ali was busy in the kitchen. In the living room, it was just me and her. She looked at me with a half smile. Sister Sophie asked me, "Do you like that perfume?" I was looking down replying to Dr. Smith's message. I didn't manage to answer her. She wasn't angry either. She sat down next to me and teased me softly. "You're quite patient, aren't you? Knowing that he cheated, yet pretending everything is fine. Oh dear, women like you are truly disappointing. Do you know Wiley bought you that perfume?" He said. "Every time he smells that scent on me, it really gives him a special feeling. He gave you the perfume, actually hoping to find the same feeling he has with me on you." He also mentioned, "He thinks you're not interesting enough." He said that being with me is when he truly experiences that extreme joy. I suddenly looked up. Emily was startled by me. At that moment, Ali happened to walk out of the kitchen with a dish. When he saw Emily, he felt a bit awkward. Emily pouted, complaining unhappily. "Ali, sister-in-law just tried to scare me on purpose." Ali immediately looked at me with a reproachful gaze. He said, "Sophie, you're already so grown up. Why argue with a little girl? There's no conflict between her and me. What's there to fuss about?" I calmly put away my phone. I fixed my gaze on Ali. Perhaps it's because I feel guilty inside. He was momentarily speechless. This meal was particularly quiet after finishing the meal. Ali took Emily home. Before leaving, he kept saying he would be back soon. It was late at night. He still hadn't shown up. I received another message from Emily. It was a close-up video of her and Ali in the car. It made me feel a bit awkward. I clicked the save button. I don't know how long it passed. The sky gradually brightened. Ali quietly walked into the bedroom. He lay down next to me. He was emanating a strong scent of perfume. The next morning, Ali left for work. Before he left, he suddenly felt a bit uneasy. "Tonight, I plan to go back early." "Okay, wait until his figure is completely out of sight." I turned around and walked into the room. I took out the suitcase that had been packed long ago. Before leaving, I saved all the provocative messages and little videos that Emily sent me onto Ellie's computer. I even left a note. It said, "We broke up." Then I walked out the door. I stepped onto the path that my parents once walked. Ellie got home at 7 o'clock in the evening. At that time, I was waiting with other researchers at the military base for the plane to take us to the base. I originally didn't know he was already home, but the neighbor messaged me to let me know. Ellie was drunk. He was knocking on the door incessantly. I had no choice but to call him. "I'm not home. If you don't have a key, call a locksmith. Don't disturb the neighbors over there," on the other end of the phone. Ellie's voice sounded like he was drunk. "It's so late. Why haven't you come home yet?" "Ellie, I'm leaving. Goodbye." He drank alcohol. His reactions have become much slower. He asked, "Where are you going? Do you need me to give you a ride?" As soon as the words were out, Emily's voice came through with dissatisfaction. "Sophie, what's wrong with you? Why aren't you home this late? Do you have some kind of problem? And Ellie is already drunk. How can you still ask him to pick you up?" She was speaking very loudly. I instinctively held my phone further away. Ellie kept grinning beside me. "No way. My baby loves me the most. She won't betray me." I was overwhelmed by what I heard. I was really afraid of disturbing the neighbors. I suppressed my impatience. "Speak. Emily, stop messing around. Either take him to a hotel or call the property management. Also, please tell Ellie, I have already ended things with him." Ellie heard the word breakup. The alcohol sobered him up a bit. He quickly grabbed the phone. "Go ahead. All right. I won't drink anymore. Don't be angry. He's not fully sober yet. His head is a bit fuzzy, but he should understand once he's a little more clear-headed. I never joke about breakups. Ellie, think about it yourself." After I said that, I hung up the phone. I blocked all of Ellie's contact information. The researcher Jacob next to me glanced at me. His eyes showed concern. "Is something wrong?" "It's nothing. It's already been taken care of." Jacob is my senior in the same group. He is also Dr. Smith's most valued disciple. He is generally quite indifferent to others, but he is a bit special to me. I understand. This special treatment is because of my parents. He has great respect for my parents. He even admires them a bit. Dr. Smith mentioned, if my parents hadn't had that accident back then, Jacob wouldn't have joined his research group and become his student. Jacob originally wanted to be mentored by my mother. I'm feeling a bit emotional, preparing to say something to Jacob. My phone just received a notification. The monitoring software on my phone suddenly sent a notification. I was taken aback. I quickly opened the software to check. Ellie was standing in the living room, holding the note I left behind when I left. He was staring at the note, repeating it over and over. "We broke up. We broke up." At this moment, he was completely sober. He finally understood. I wasn't just sulking with him earlier. We've been together for 10 years. No matter how intense our arguments were, I had never told him we should break up. He knows me. I may seem gentle and easygoing on the surface, but deep down, I'm actually very stubborn. I've made my decision. No one can sway me. Emily is secretly amused beside me, but she doesn't dare to laugh too obviously. She pretends to be very anxious and says, "Ellie, don't get too excited. She's just joking with you." I don't believe she would really leave. Ellie isn't in the mood to listen to Emily. He feels completely drained. It feels like something is tightly gripping his heart. Every breath feels painful. He mutters to himself, "Why? Why exactly? We're both getting married, but she doesn't want me anymore. She really doesn't want me anymore." Emily is so angry that she's stamping her feet. She's always been pampered by Ellie. She can't stand being ignored like this. She snatches the note and tears it into pieces in no time. She's muttering to herself, "This is really annoying. The old woman is really unbearable. I didn't expect that." Ellie suddenly exploded in anger. He pushed her away forcefully. Emily couldn't keep her balance. She fell to the ground. He was like a wild beast out of control. He glared at Emily with anger. "You dare to tear up the note she left for me." Emily had never seen him like this. She was momentarily stunned. Since her brother passed away, Ellie had always been especially caring towards her. He had never lost his temper with her. Ellie's kindness towards her even surpassed that towards his own girlfriend. Even when she acted willfully, Ellie would always smile and indulge her. He spoiled her to the point of being a little reckless. "Are you crazy? How could you push me?" Emily felt a surge of grievance inside. Her tears flowed uncontrollably. She thought with dissatisfaction, isn't it better if that older woman leaves? Then she could be with Ellie openly. However, Ellie doesn't seem to notice her dissatisfaction. What keeps echoing in his mind are the words older women. In his heart, I've been with him for 10 years, and in the future I will grow old with him. How could Emily casually slander me? But this isn't the first time Emily has said such things about me in front of him. He didn't think much of it before. Now it sounds particularly harsh. Go, hurry up and get out. He pointed at the door. He shouted at her loudly. Emily trembled in fear. In the end, she bit her lip and ran out crying. When only Ellie was left in the room, he slowly bent down, picking up the torn pieces of notes one by one. After putting the notes away, he went to wash his face. After fully waking up, Ellie started trying to call me, but I had already blocked all his contact information. After trying a few times, he finally understood. He suddenly felt particularly tired. The whole person collapsed weakly onto the sofa. I looked at the footage on the monitor. There was no fluctuation in my heart. I didn't expect Jacob to walk over again. He pointed at the screen and said, "This is your ex who betrayed you." He was a bit surprised by my calmness. Then he slowly said, You look quite like Dr. Smith." I was stunned. He was talking about my mother. The surveillance video was still playing. I saw Ali walk into the bedroom. I had deliberately placed his computer on the bed. When Ali saw the computer, a sudden ominous premonition filled his heart. He was momentarily stunned. His mind went blank. He looked as if he had seen something terrifying. He stepped back in fear. After taking a deep breath, he finally made up his mind to open the computer. As soon as it powered on, a file popped up on the desktop. His hands trembled slightly. He opened his phone. The screen is filled with messages from Emily. Each one is filled with sharp and sarcastic remarks. The most eye-catching is that short video. The content inside is very uncomfortable to watch. He couldn't help but let out a sound. That sound was particularly jarring in the dead of night. He hurried to turn off the video, but his hands were shaking badly. After several attempts, he still couldn't succeed. She already knew. I see. I really couldn't watch any longer. He turned off the video. At that moment, the plane to pick us up had just arrived. It was already waiting on the tarmac. Jacob helped me with my suitcase. He urged me to hurry and board the plane. Before getting on the plane, I looked back at the scenery behind me. I softly whispered to myself, "Goodbye." On the plane, I gazed out at the scenery. I felt particularly relaxed and at ease. After an unknown amount of time, the plane landed smoothly, stopped at a research base in the desert. Jacob looked at me. "Speak, this place. Your parents have been here too." I nodded. After arranging everything, I focused entirely on the experiment. This work is very challenging, and I am still not quite adapted to the new environment. Nevertheless, I never had the thought of giving up. This place is completely isolated from the outside world. Everyone is fully dedicated to the experiment. There is simply no time to think about anything else. After countless days and nights of hard work, the experiment finally made a significant breakthrough. The entire research base was immersed in joy. Everyone was so happy they were jumping around. Dr. Smith has aged significantly. Good. Success is just around the corner. Jacob also couldn't help but feel an indescribable joy. I looked at him, realizing he was also looking at me. When we made eye contact, Jacob couldn't help but smile. He got closer to me. "Go ahead. Sophie, you're amazing." I was taken aback for a moment. "Jacob, you're great too." Jacob kept nodding. Then he quietly pulled me aside. Like a magic trick, he took a piece of chocolate out of his pocket. He handed it to me. "Sophie, your health is your capital for revolution. You need to replenish your energy quickly. You've lost weight recently. Don't wear yourself out." I smiled and accepted it. Recently, Jacob has been doing this often. He always occasionally brings me some snacks. I'm not sure where he gets so many little snacks from. At that moment, Dr. Smith walked over with a smile. "Oh, Jacob is feeding Sophie again." Using the term feeding sounds a bit strange. I was about to speak, but Jacob spoke up first. "Teacher, please don't joke around. Sophie will feel embarrassed." Dr. Smith didn't continue to tease me. He just looked at me with a half-smile expression. This small matter just passed by. During the research process, you will always encounter various problems. And here it is. A new problem has arisen. In the latest test, some data showed discrepancies. This made everyone nervous. The previous happy moments disappeared without a trace. We could only keep analyzing data and conducting experiments. My health started to deteriorate as well. I often felt dizzy and lightheaded. My appetite also became very poor. Jacob could always notice my changes immediately. He always quietly pays attention to me. Seeing that I looked very unwell, he finally spoke up. "No way. You need to go back and rest. If this continues, your body won't be able to take it." I shook my head to indicate I didn't want to go, but he didn't say a word. He just pulled me directly toward the break area. "Sophie, Listen carefully. No matter what you do, you must take care of yourself first. If you continue like this, it only shows that you are not suited for research. He spoke very harshly. I have never been treated like this by him. I was momentarily at a loss. He went on to say, an outstanding researcher is a treasure for all of humanity. Caring for oneself is fulfilling social responsibility. After hearing these words, I was completely stunned, reflecting on these years at the base. I really only focused on my experiments. I no longer considered my life or death. Sometimes, I even felt that if I left like this, perhaps I could see my mom and dad. I lowered my head and said, I'm sorry, I won't do this again in the future. Since then, I started to take my health seriously. I became more proactive in exercising, and I also made sure to get enough rest. Dr. Smith was quite happy. He even specifically praised me in front of everyone. Sophie has been performing quite well recently. This is how it should be, in the appreciative gazes of everyone. I smiled particularly happily, unknowingly. I have been at the base for nearly 5 years. Once, I accidentally found some research notes among my parents' belongings. The ideas and methods inside benefited me greatly. We adjusted the experimental plan according to these ideas. After multiple attempts and improvements, we finally succeeded in solving the problem that had long troubled us. The moment Dr. Smith announced the experiment's success, everyone was so moved that they shed tears. Jacob excitedly spun me around several times. He kept saying, "We did it. We did it. Sophie, you are really great, Jacob. We are all excellent. Here, I have found the meaning of my life." I felt such freedom for the first time. The day we left the base, Jacob was following behind me. The sun was warm at that time. He suddenly called my name, Sophie. I turned to look at him. He stood there quietly. The sunlight outlined his graceful figure. Because of the backlight, I couldn't see his expression clearly. He still looked quite nervous, as if there was something hard to say. After quite a while, he finally spoke. "Sophie, I don't want us to part ways after the research ends. I want to be with you always. I want to have a closer relationship with you. Will you give me this opportunity?" I didn't expect him to confess at this moment. Actually, I had noticed it long ago. His feelings for me were more than just a mentor-student relationship. I'm not stupid. It's just that I was never ready to start a new romance. Thinking back on the bits and pieces we experienced together over the past 5 years, his position in my heart is already very different from the past. I feel I should give myself and give Jacob a chance, so I replied, "Okay, I promise you. Let's be together." He was taken aback for a moment. A very happy smile immediately appeared on his face. Then he ran over to me. He gently held my hand. We walked side by side. When we arrived at the airport, Jacob went to get the luggage first. I waited in the resting area. Suddenly, I heard a happy voice. "Sophie." I was taken aback for a moment. My mind was a bit blank. This person, both unfamiliar and familiar. When I came to my senses, Ali was already standing in front of me. He just stood there. He looked very tired. His face was haggard. His face was filled with confusion and excitement after a long separation. "Sophie, you've finally come back. You've finally come back." Ali's voice trembled. I looked at him. I couldn't help but think that today was really not a good day to go out. Really unfortunate. Long time no see. I responded as calmly as I could. I couldn't greet someone who once betrayed me with a smile. Ali seemed unconcerned by my coldness. He was completely immersed in the joy of being reunited. His gaze slowly settled on my face. He said softly, "Sophie, I really missed you. After you left, I realized I couldn't live without you." "Ah, really?" I casually brushed it off with a few words, but he was eager to explain. He quickly said, "Yes, I have already cut off contact with Emily, and I won't have any further dealings with her." "Oh, this has nothing to do with me." I lowered my head, focusing intently on my phone, messaging Jacob to hurry up. My cold attitude made Ali a bit anxious. Before coming here, he thought I would hit him, or scold him, even accuse him of betrayal. He was already prepared to face all of this, but he never expected I would act so coldly, as if I truly no longer cared about him. Ali's heart tightened. He hurriedly stepped forward, urgently saying, "Sophie, I admit I was wrong, but please give me another chance. I will definitely make it up to you." Ali pleaded desperately, his eyes glistening with tears. He wanted to come over and pull me, but was blocked by Jacob, who appeared suddenly. Jacob quickly walked over to my side, frowning at Ali. "Don't you realize she hates you?" Ali didn't know Jacob. Seeing Jacob and me getting close and intimate, His expression immediately became serious and tense. Ellie's gaze pierced through Jacob, directly landing on me. "Who is this person? Let me introduce you. He is my boyfriend. His name is Jacob." I turned my head to look at Ellie. Jacob couldn't help but smile slightly. He held my hand tightly. "Yes, please stay away from my girlfriend." Upon hearing this, Ellie felt as if he had been struck by lightning. The color drained from his face rapidly. In an instant, he became pale. Are you joking?" He stared intently at the hands Jacob and I were holding together. His eyes were filled with jealousy and unwillingness. I smiled and shook my head. "I'm serious. So please stay away from me. You can't fall in love with someone else. We've been together for 10 years, and we've loved each other for 10 years. The person you should love is me," he shouted loudly. His voice was hoarse and sharp. It drew the attention of those around. "We have been in love for 10 years. This makes me feel a bit ridiculous." In his eyes, "Am I just someone suitable for marriage? I heard you call Ellie that night. You said I was only suitable for marriage. You also said you would love Emily for a lifetime." Ellie was taken aback by this. His eyes widened. His body swayed as well. "No, that's not true. It's just that I'm just influenced by Emily. The person I truly love has always been you." Jacob could no longer tolerate it. Once again, he pulled me behind him. "Enough. What do you think? We don't care. Sophie is now my girlfriend. Don't come looking for her again." Jacob's tone carried a clear warning. The attitude is not very good. Ellie completely lost control of his emotions. He rushed forward as if out of control. His face looked very bad. "What right do you have to interject? What does my relationship with Sophie have to do with you?" Jacob is agile. He easily dodged Ellie's attack. He quickly turned around. He grabbed Ellie's arm and pinned him against the wall. The airport security personnel immediately rushed over. They pulled the two apart. Ellie was still struggling incessantly. He kept cursing Jacob. I really couldn't stand it any longer. I stepped forward and slapped him. Suddenly, the surroundings fell into silence. "Ellie, you are really disappointing right now. Don't make me lose respect for you." After saying that, I took Jacob's hand and turned to leave. I didn't pay any more attention to Ellie. Later, Jacob and I moved in together. Evening. I'm tired. I'm resting in Jacob's arms at this moment. A strange number called. Jacob answered the phone for me. On the other end of the line, Ellie spoke up. "Sophie, let's talk. Whatever it is, just talk to me, Ellie." Jacob began to speak. Ellie's emotions immediately became agitated. He shouted loudly, "It's so late. How can you be next to her? How can you do this? Look at you. We are engaged. I'm not with her. Who is with her then?" As Jacob spoke, his words were clearly provocative. I found it amusing inside. Jacob, this person, is sharp-tongued, speaks without holding back. Maybe he thinks Ellie isn't sad enough. Jacob continued to speak. "All right, there's still a long night ahead. Don't disturb us anymore. That's it." Jacob ignored Ellie's complaints on the other end of the phone. He hung up the phone directly. He then held me tightly. He kissed my lips. He asked, "Wife, don't you think I'm being a bit petty like this?" "No, I'm just trying to annoy him," I said with a smile. He smiled and held me tighter. "Say, okay, then let's go to sleep." Ellie didn't give up. He found where Jacob and I lived. He would wait downstairs in the community every day. I often saw Ellie through the floor-to-ceiling window, even when it rained. He would sit in the car waiting. I understand. He's taking a gamble. He thinks I will soften my heart, but this time I won't. I used to be soft-hearted towards him. It was because I liked him. Now to me, he's no different from a stranger. That day, I had just come downstairs when I heard Ellie and Emily arguing. "Ellie, how can you be so heartless? Are you going to ruin me for her?" "I ruined you. That was self-inflicted. From the moment you decided to interfere in someone else's relationship, you were no longer innocent. How could you do this?" Emily was crying very sadly. Later I learned, after I left, Ellie began to resent Emily. He blamed everything on Emily, while pretending nothing happened, to apologize to me. Ellie took revenge on Emily. He posted all the evidence of their private relationship online. As a result, Emily was blamed online as the third party. The situation escalated too much. The school ultimately decided to expel Emily. After dropping out, Emily wanted to find a job, but Ellie was always sabotaging her. This made it difficult for her to find employment. Emily had no choice. She had to leave the city and return to her hometown. But it wasn't long before the people in town recognized her as the one being criticized online. Neighbors and colleagues mocked her coldly. After some twists and turns, Emily was exhausted both physically and mentally, in immense pain. She had no money on her, so she had to come back and ask Ali to take her in. Thus, this is how we ended up in this scene. I intended to pretend I didn't see and just walk past them, but Emily spotted me right away. She quickly ran up to me. "Sophie, you said you would treat me like a little sister, so help me, give me money, I really need money." I feel a wave of disgust inside. Little sister. She deserves it. "Emily, what makes you think you can be my sister?" I said it directly. That's what I said. I'm getting ready to leave. Ali is worried she might take action against me. Quickly come over and stand between us. "Sophie, if it weren't for you, I wouldn't have become like this. And Ali, you clearly said you would always take care of me, but you turned out to be a liar." That's what I said. Emily stared at Ali with fierce eyes. Ali also looked at her grimly. Their eyes met. "You can blame me, but you have no right to blame Sophie. Her." Ali's words weren't finished. Suddenly, he was stabbed in the abdomen. He widened his eyes. His face was filled with shock, then slowly fell to the ground. This sudden turn of events left me stunned. I instinctively wanted to shout to stop it, but it was already too late. Ali fell to the ground. His breath was weak. He spoke in a fragmented manner. "You, what a madman." There were bursts of screams around, but Emily kept laughing. She was laughing a bit uncontrollably. While laughing, she muttered softly, "I stabbed him. I killed him. Ha ha ha." The ambulance and police quickly arrived at the scene. Ali was rushed to the hospital for emergency treatment. At the same time, Emily was taken away by the police. She would face legal judgment. Out of humanitarian concern, I accompanied them to the hospital. The door to the operating room opened. The doctor said to me, "The patient is no longer in critical condition, but his abdomen suffered permanent damage. He will have to rely on a urine bag for life." Ali lay in the hospital bed. I heard it too. His eyes suddenly became vacant, filled with despair. His body lay motionless. I stood outside the hospital room. I looked at him through the glass. I felt a heavy heart. I called Ali's assistant and family. Then I left. As I walked out of the hospital, the sunlight shone on me. The shadows of the past finally dissipated. At my wedding with Jacob, Ali came in a wheelchair. He arrived with medical equipment. He didn't say a word. He silently gave me a red envelope. He turned and left. His back appeared lonely and helpless. Meanwhile, my happy married life with Jacob officially began.